Hello, it's this week's Mucky Nut Punch podcast. I'll be honest with you, it's just been raining constantly here in the UK. It's made me miserable AF.
I've just seen the title of this week's podcast. Whatever.
I'm having one of those bits where it's just, I'm supposed to be having an extension built, but rain's just paused everything on that. So that's not good. Yeah. It started raining about 11 o'clock yesterday, and it just stopped about 10 minutes before I pressed the go live button. It's bloody miserable.
I've been talking to my old man, and he says it just hasn't stopped all week.
Yes, it's been unrelenting. I literally now, it's the moment I started this, sunlight has appeared. I can't enjoy it because I'm on a podcast with your face.
Oh, I'll give you the holy music when the sun comes through the rays, like those cheesy 70s religious music.
Yes.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's what have I done? I've seen Black Adam.
I haven't seen that yet. I'm kind of a bit ashamed that I haven't seen that, but I haven't.
Also watched The Thing in the cinema, 40th anniversary, Halloween.
Oh, cool.
So I watched that in the cinema, which was great. I think I've got Blade Runner next week on Tuesday. I think I'm going to see Blade Runner. I don't know if it's the extended one or not, but I never saw that.
The version.
Yeah, I have no idea. So I might go and watch that in the cinema, depending on how I feel. Because but I couldn't get anyone to go with me because no one wants to watch a horror film in the cinema, I'm afraid.
I would have come with you for The Thing. I don't usually do horror movies, but that's kind of a classic. It's more than a horror movie.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
It's very layered. It has the paranoia part of it. It has the kind of weird eldritch, how long has this thing been around kind of part of it too. And then you've just got the all-out body horror to go alongside it. And I've reached the conclusion, watching the film, at the end, Kurt Russell and Childs both are the thing.
I'll have to watch it again. I haven't seen it for a very long time.
And it all comes down to, if I was a perfect imitation of me or whatever, what would I do? And if you were a perfect imitation of the thing was playing a perfect imitation of you, and you knew that you would do your damnedest to get rid of it, you do your damnedest to get rid of it. Which I think there's one that line. It was only in the cinema, but I change my mind every time I see it. I'll be honest with you. So I watched that. I watched Black Adam. Black Adam's quite a good one. It's like a Phase 1 Marvel film. Nothing wrong with that.
I hear a rumor that Henry Cavill turns up.
Yes, he does, right at the end.
Awesome.
It's when Black Adam threatens Amanda Waller, goes, "There's no one from this planet who can stop me." She turns around and goes, "What about someone who isn't from this planet?" And then it goes, and it goes very quietly.
Oh, good. Which
is really good.
I have to say, I watched an interview with him the other day, and Henry Cavill, he's a good guy. He's clever as well. He was like, he had a go at Zack Snyder without having a go at Zack Snyder, but he emulated what everybody felt. And you can tell why he left The Witcher, because The Witcher's very much gone off piece when it comes to the literature. And he says, I'm a stickler for the literature. I'm a real sort of like, if you come off the thing, well, that's not what happens in the book kind of thing. And he said, I want Superman to be the hopeful character again. I want Superman to be that. So the fact that they did that in Black Adam, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was really good, and there was a bit when they open up his tomb and he comes out and he starts attacking all the kind of mercenaries and stuff who are in this country, and it starts playing Paint It Black, but he does it really subtly until he gets outside and starts smashing things to pieces, and then it goes into full blown Rolling Stones Paint It Black. Nice. Which was good because I was listening to it and I was like, I know that bit of music. I really know that bit of music. And then it happened. I was like, it's Painted Black. So yeah, it was good. It had similar problems which Marvel had in Phase 1 with the bad guys. We only had Loki that stuck out. But
Yeah.
it feels like going in the right direction, shall we say? That and the Suicide Squad, 2 films from DC that have been miles better than the Marvel stuff, minus Sony's Spider-Man.
I think we are witnessing the rise of DC and the downfall of Marvel, and with what's his face being, appointed as the sort of Kevin Feige like character, which is possibly why they're not giving so much the Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. There has been a trailer, but they're not giving it much fanfare, and I think that's a big fuck you to what's his face who's gone over to DC. And
it's their money to lose.
Oh no, I think DC is going to be good. I really enjoyed Suicide Squad. I really enjoyed the spin-off TV series. I thought TV series spin-off was really fucking good.
Yes.
And I'm glad that Black Adam is kind of good. I think we are now seeing DC getting their shit together and Marvel continuing to lose it. I mean, now that we've finally got this trailer for fucking Wakanda Forever, it's not Namor, it's Namor in this sort of span. You just go, oh my God, how fucking dumb can you be?
So apparently, this is one thing I've heard, and I think they might be right on this. So the reason he's Namor, instead of Namor, is rights issues, because if he's 25% different, they don't have to pay royalties. Tight bastards, absolute tight bastards. The worst thing is Namor looks like a stereotypical Aztec. He's got the fucking bone through his nose and everything. I find that racially offensive, to be honest with you, just through lack of creativity, shall we say.
That Disney are fucked. I mean, if there are now mainstream rumors just how bad Star Wars is in at Disney. There are now mainstream rumors, not Doomcock rumors, which never come true. Sorry, Doomcock, but they don't. Stop reading 4chan. The rumors. There are mainstream rumors that they don't know what to do about the movies. There is a growing fan outcry for Dave Filoni to become full-on producer and for Kathleen Kennedy just to fuck off.
Him and Jon Favreau, I think, would do it, along with Tony Gilmore. I think the three of them, if you put Favreau over in charge overall to make sure the production and everything runs smooth, let Filoni be the person who makes sure it's creatively the same, and give Tony Gilmore fucking run, because I think if Andor would have come out first out of all those Star Wars things, we probably would have been happier. And then if they would have released 3 at a time is the other one, because I haven't watched Andor this week.
No, don't, because these 3 at a go. This 3 are not a complete 3; it's a 6. It does kind of have an ending, but it doesn't. You could class this as a 3, but it's not like the other 3. It's not a perfect 3. It's definitely designed for binging, and I think they've released it in the wrong way. But I disagree with a lot of what the fandom menace is saying. Tony Gilroy did come out and say he wasn't a Star Wars fan. I don't care what he's done. He's done more. He's written better Star Wars than there has been in a long while, with the exception of those Jedi Tales and Clone Wars Season 7, which was flaming. Jedi Tales was good.
Can I just ask you something? The guy who did Wrath of Khan for Star Trek, I'm sure he wasn't a Star Trek. I'm sure he wasn't a Star Trek fan when he started.
Nope.
And he did the sensible thing. He got all the TV series, watched it, and went, "Oh, look, there's a gap. I wonder what happens." And then he did that and followed it through. So you got fan service and a follow-on to a story that didn't seem to.
You can argue that the 2 best bloody Star Trek films are 2 and 6, and they're both Nicholas Meyer. I mean, there is a lot to say. The Undiscovered Country was quite a good film,
Yes.
and that, again, follow up Nicholas Meyer. And I like Andor. I'm sorry. I think that the likes of Gary, I love you, Gary, but you're wrong on Andor. You're totally wrong. It is genuinely quite good. It is competently written. I understand why he feels the way he does. I understand why they all do. But I've been a lifelong Star Wars fan, and in recent weeks, I've had some very good Star Wars. Those Jedi Tales were fucking phenomenal. And but that's because I'm a fan of the Clone Wars. So they came out with these 6 short films, and the music, the animation, it's just brilliant. And we need more. We also need. I agree with Star Wars Theory. We need a Sith Tales as well. They need to do that for the Sith as well, because that just would blow us away. There's so much you could do with Anakin. After Order 66, there's so much you can do there. And if it's anything like that quality, then hell yeah. And I think Jedi Tales has done a lot of good. So there is now a mainstream cry for for Filoni to at least have some kind of central creative role. I think we're going to see a lot of heads roll at Lucasfilm. I think Warner Brothers is kind of like that tipping point. And if they do not sack Kennedy, they are fucked. Their $4 billion is down the drain. They have to come up with a movie idea. Do not let what's his face anywhere near it. His trilogy. No Kevin Feige. No fucking Game of Thrones guys. No bloody what's his dickhead person who made Last Jedi. He's not allowed anywhere near Star Wars. I mean, how the fuck you employ a guy that says the film he wants to make is 50% hate it and 50% love it, and you let that guy make a Star Wars film? How the motherfuck is Kathleen Kennedy still into it?
When we're
the woman
supposed
is
to be
incompetent.
to have broad appeal so everyone can watch it and everyone can enjoy it.
I mean, Star Wars Theory made a really good video this week, and I know that Lucasfilm watches him, right? And he was on fucking point with his criticism, because of this article finally came out where Disney had pretty much admitted that the sequel trilogy were a pile of shit. That, you know, the only film that's actually been creatively successful, and that was a bit of a mess, was Rogue One. And you know that for the only decent Star Wars that's been put out really has been Andor, and Andor's not doing very well at the moment, which is an absolute shame because it fucking deserves to do well. And you know, because Clone Wars season 7 was successful, The Mandalorian is doing okay. I did not like Boba Fett, but I have a feeling that the studio had a lot to do with that rather than Filoni.
I felt that who's it? Tamara Morrison. I felt that he was a bit hard done by when it came to Boba Fett.
But
so
there is a lot you can do. It's not all done for. If you bring back good stories within the existing canon and fuck the prequel history, and just continue to make this, go back and do, you know, Knights of the Old Order, you will soon make your money back. You just need to. I've lost someone. It looks like Gareth has slipped off the stream, so I'm on my own again. I'm back again. I'm still on here again. Again.
Well, I think this stream's not going to last very long. I think we're going to go so far, and it's just going to keep coming out. So we're going to go for as long as we can.
What happened?
Don't know. It blinked out for a second. But given well, at least my power's not gone out. This is the worrying thing with all the bloody water. So
I've been there, brother. My entire office flooded last weekend. The water tank, which is directly under here, decided the stop valve broke. That was it. I had an indoor swimming pool again. But at least it come from underneath this time and not above. No, Star Wars. There is an inkling of hope there. But have you heard about the Doctor Who news? Now, I didn't initially make the link, and then I thought about what you said about Russell T Davies the other day, and I realized, hang on, Disney Plus have the worldwide distributions with the exception of the UK for showing Doctor Who from now, and I went, oh shit. Yeah. That was my
yeah. It's I
yeah.
think, as I said at the end of all of this, you'll look back at it and go, Stephen Moffat was the best bloody writer.
Well, now it's funny you should say that. I don't know if you've ever watched. There's an English dude, right, that does these Clever Dick films on YouTube, right?
Yeah, I just watched recently his one for Matt Smith's era.
I watched it yesterday. How fucking good was it?
Yes, it was good, and it made me go, God, how good was that series with him?
Do you know what? Right, I've always said that I preferred season 6. Right, I've started watching season 5. After I watched this, I thought I need to go back and watch this again because maybe I passed judgment. I probably haven't watched the whole of season 5 through in a long time. And so I've started watching it again, and I'm just like, God, the 11th hour is good.
That's the best opening for any Doctor ever.
I agree.
There's no two ways about it. The problem is I think that Stephen Moffat was spread a little thin. He said that he spread a little thin when he was trying to do Sherlock and that at the same time. But it was good.
I thought
sorry, Steven Spielberg, I'm not doing your project. I got Doctor Who.
I genuinely loved the Christmas special at the end of the season 5. It is still by far my favorite. Partly
that's why Michael Gambon and the floating sharks. Yeah,
just genius. That entire episode was genius, and I love it. And I do love Matt Smith. I love David Tennant. But if I had to pick, I think you're right. I have come round to your way of thinking that Matt Smith was probably the best. That that speech in the 11th hour. I'm the Doctor. Basically, run. You don't have to say anything else.
what I put the thing is mate, I didn't realize it, but he put it, and there's a counterpoint to the speech where he's at Stonehenge and he turns around and he says, "Go do the smart thing. Let someone else go first." That's brilliant. That's a brilliant line. That is. Let someone else go first. And I'm like, that's a good way of fucking psyching out your opponents. It's David Tennant's good. Don't. I think the thing is, David Tennant was going to. He was so tempted to stay back.
Yeah,
he was so tempted to stay back, and then he went, you know what? Give him a fresh run, which was fine. And Capaldi as an actor for stuff he did for Doctor Who was amazing. But you're gonna, as I said, when you finish this, you're gone.
Capaldi has the best regeneration speech. Capaldi's goodbye was perfect. Look, Capaldi's run was less than perfect, but there were some really good episodes. And Capaldi, I can understand why people didn't like him. I liked him as the Doctor. It took a while to warm to him, but I liked him as the Doctor. I maintain that we're going to get both of them in the 60th. I think they're telling porkies. And I
hope we do. I really hope we do. Because I know that Matt Smith, when he was interviewed, he said, would you rather have Doctor Who again or be a Marvel superhero? To which he replied instantly, Doctor Who again.
Doctor Who.
Because never had so much fun doing that. And I think he regrets not staying on for that 4th season. Because he was supposed to do 4.
He does.
And Moffat regrets him not staying on 4th season because he wrote a whole bloody story arc and whatnot, which he had to throw away. With the Daleks, Cybermen, and the Weeping Angels put a weapon together, which can erase you from time. And they never did it. It's similar to Red Dwarf with the Inquisitor, where he could erase you from time.
The only thing, right, that I, other than Sylvester McCoy's little chat with Ace, right, in that, the whatever it was called, that shitty ending episode, there was one thing in there that still upsets me. Paul McGann comes back and he's on screen for 5 seconds. I want to see more of these.
He's on screen for 5 seconds and you're like, I miss you.
I
You barely saw me.
I mean, the guy in that Night of the Doctor episode, which is covered in the thing, And I remember feeling exactly how the guy described it in the documentary. That was my exact thought. I was like, oh my God, how fucking good is this guy? There's the doctor, that is the doctor. And he nailed it.
In seconds. That's the thing, is he does it in seconds.
Yeah.
I love that. The best line is such a doctor line. Yeah, goes, let's get to the back of the spaceship. Why? Because the front crashes first, obviously. I love that. That's such a doctor line. Oh man, I watched that. I watched that recently because I was pining for Doctor Who, if you know what I mean. Because when it was on, then it was good. It was good. Even the Moffat series when it was bad, and the Russell T Davies series when it was bad, was still more entertaining than whatever fuck Chris Gibnall came out with.
That I will give you. That I will totally agree with you about. When it was, oh God, Paul McGann was so good.
That first Jodie Whittaker series was fucking awful.
Yeah,
it really was. It was the worst thing. The worst bit of TV I've seen for anything. It was just. It was, you had, as I said, you could travel to all of time and space, see all the universe, yeah, but I only felt like there were 6 people in the entire world. The universe felt empty, hollow, and no magic. Where you get the other doctors and you get a sense that there is lots of stuff out there, yeah, and there is, there are people on other planets and things going on and magic, but all taken away. All taken away because they wanted to make a female doctor, and they didn't even pick the right actress.
I think we're going to like the 60th, or at least going to go, well, look, it's better than anything Chibnall did. Is it going to be the Day of the Doctor levels of good? I don't think so. But I think it's going to be good.
See, that's the other part of it too, is I think that Tennant, had a wee bit of jealousy that Matt Smith was the Doctor at the time for the 50th. He was a wee bit jealous. Just when he said come back, and then he turned around and went for the 60th, he was like, oh yes, definitely. I also think it's twofold. Apparently there's 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got Catherine Tate in there too.
Yes.
It's our favourite companion. I love Catherine Tate because she wasn't romantically involved with him. She was just a mate out there exploring, having a good time.
I'm looking forward to Catherine Tate. Bernard Cribbins has filmed scenes for it and had just finished his filming before he died. So Bernard Cribbins is in it. So he literally died the week he finished wrapped. So it's going to be bittersweet, but he's in it. So Wilf is back. I still think we're getting. I think Capaldi's lying. I just feel, knowing how much the man loves Doctor Who, I can't see him saying no to coming back for the 60th. I think this is all to make a genuine surprise when he does appear. And I hope that's true. I hope he has lied. I hope he is lying his fucking socks off, because I'd love to see
one
him.
Thing? Yeah. She may be in there as like a video call, but the 13th Jodie Whittaker's Doctor's not in it, if that makes any sense.
I hope not.
And the reason because she's pregnant, so she'd be waddling around, so it's not practical, unfortunately. I'm
looking forward to. I'm intrigued enough to watch it because I want the explanation of why he regenerated back, and are they dicking around with the Veil Yard? What are they up to? Why is he regenerated back into the 14th Doctor?
You can blame Moffat for that. He did that in the 50th.
Well, he did with Tom Baker, which was again genius. And that was
because Tom Baker probably went, I'm coming back, but I'm not going to be the Doctor, but I want to be the Doctor. And Stephen Moffat went, how the fuck do I do that? To which he was like, oh, maybe he regenerates into people that he's been before. So that was his kind of.
But I mean, what in that documentary when it shows Matt Smith's scene with him, but does it just not make you go, oh my God, this was so good back then?
Did you come to the cinema and watch that with us?
I did.
Okay, 3D. Do you remember the joke they had with the lenses at the beginning?
Yes.
Turns around, goes, one of you is a shapeshifter. Close your right eye, turn around, and if one of the lenses is dark, because they're a Zygon. Love that. And then the thing with the popcorn, Mate, eating the popcorn,
Yes.
because I love the way the popcorn screams when you eat it and goes.
Oh, that was what's his face? Yes.
The little dumpy one.
Strax. Yeah.
It's so annoying because it was at that point in time. It was like at its fucking peak. Everybody was like, "Yeah, I know Doctor Who." I'm not, and then they decided to do. I remember us having all the conversations about when the Doctor was going to come back, and my biggest concern was Chris Chibnall. And you're like,
You were right.
Didn't want to be.
I wanted to. I wanted to be. I try to remain full of hope, right? I try to remain hopeful because these are the shows that I love. These are the shows that I've grown up with, and I try to remain hopeful. And even now, even though I know the odds are stacked against me, I remain hopeful that Star Wars might regain some quality. I remain hopeful that the Doctor Who might regain some quality. I remain hopeful that even Star Trek, even though I know it's doomed, will regain some, because these are the shows that I love and I'm passionate about. I grew up with these shows. These are shows that have been with me all of my life. Right?
I will say, from it sounds awful, I really don't care about Star Wars anymore.
Look, I don't think you were ever the Star Wars fan that I was, and that's the thing. And
I used to like Star Wars, and I had happy memories attached to it. Yeah. I had a big AT-AT. I had one of those speeder bikes that you pressed a button on and it exploded. A load of Star Wars figures, but after a while, I went back and we watched it with my family, and I had more fun watching Harry Potter. So I'm just up was fucking Slytherin today.
Look, everybody has their own thing, and I am not going to attack anybody for saying they're done with Star Wars. I completely understand it. And I'm not going to say you're wrong. I loved Star Wars. I still love Star Wars. I've watched them all recently and enjoyed them. I think Clone Wars is genuinely very good. Rebels was brilliant. And it's all because of you that I went back and watched Clone Wars after watching Rebels, because Rebels was so damn good. And you introduced me to that. So I have genuinely quite enjoyed Andor. The last episode was not that great until the end. But it's kind of like there were some interesting elements in it. I think I'm right about why they made her a lesbian. I don't think it was just done for wokeness. There is a lot more to it.
Because I heard something about her being related to Mothra, and that might be why the reason that she's been like ousted is because she's a lesbian.
You want me to spoil it for you?
No, don't spoil it for me. Don't spoil it for me.
Okay, so
I want to. The one thing I liked about Andor is when I watched it, I had some fresh eyes when I saw it. My batteries ran out my headset. Give me a second.
So there is a line in there that that I think is going to play into the fact that, okay, she's been made a lesbian for character purposes and not just for the point of we have to make somebody a lesbian. And I had that feeling when we saw it because the way they did it. And, you know, in the latter episodes, again, they come back to it a little bit. And again, it's handled with in a different way. And then again, she turns up this week, and again, there's a comment that's made. And again, I think it's part of her you know, the reason that she is in the rebellion, if that makes sense. And look, you can make the character a lesbian if there's a reason for it. If that's her motivation to go into the rebellion, I can understand that. I can relate to that in some way.
If there's more than she's a lesbian,
yes, there's more to her.
It's a dimension, not a character trait.
They developed a character, but even before you found out she was a lesbian, there was character development. It wasn't she's a lesbian, that's all there is to her. That, you know, she was a leader that had kind of been thrown into it. She was unsure of herself at times, but still fucking went forward. She was clearly brave. So her sole defining thing wasn't the fact that she was a lesbian. She had been fleshed out, and she gets fleshed out even more here. And I think we're going to see even more of that develop in the next 3 weeks. I kind of enjoyed Andy Serkis. turning up.
Don't spoil Andy Serkis. I like a
I'm
good
not.
Andy Serkis.
But the ending, unlike the other three, this three doesn't get an ending. But well, it does kind of. The story's going to move on, but it's going to be in a similar ilk to what's going on now. But again, fuck me, the Empire is evil, and I think I know what's going on or what they're doing right now. And I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but I have a sneaking suspicion that we're not going to see it outright, but I think they're doing something towards the Death Star. Although we're not going to see it outright. I think we might get a cameo from what's his face, some of the guys from Rogue One. And again, that could be quite interesting. I do think Palps is going to turn up in some form or another towards the end, but I think it's going to be organic.
The other thing too is I think everyone's waiting for K2SO4 to show up.
Yes.
That's the one thing, because it's the one thing that can happen inside this series, and it's fan service without feeling cheated, because you know that they were up to stuff beforehand.
So when Tony Gilroy was interviewed before Andor came, he had a solid plan for 2 seasons. The first season is birth of the rebellion, right? And it only really takes stage in the space of a year. The next season is the 4 years up to Rogue One. So in the next season, we're going to get to see, Mon Mothma going off and into the rebellion. So obviously something happens on Coruscant and she has to escape. You might even see that at the end of this season. I don't know. But she has to escape. So I think we're obviously going to see them establishing a base on Yavin and all of that. And again, I'm kind of looking forward to that.
The her being kicked out when the Senate gets dissolved by the Emperor.
Yeah. I know it happens before that, because the Senate gets dissolved after she's on Yavin in Rogue One. The Senate gets dissolved at the beginning of New Hope.
Because what's his mush comes out and tells her, goes, "Don't worry, no problem for the Senate, because they've all been dissolved." That's the bit when she gets kicked off.
No, because Mon Mothma's in Rogue One, and Rogue One happens prior to that, and she's already on Yavin in Rogue One.
Yeah, but she could still be being spy.
Good point.
Because I'll be honest with you, it's an interesting kind of thing to happen, and it would be interesting to us to see how people reacted. Did they all get arrested? Were they all taken out back and executed? Did she have to escape? You got these questions. That's interesting. I want to see something interesting. That sounds interesting. The downside is, I know she survives, which removes a good chunk of tension. But the trick with that is to put a couple of side characters and make you care about them, and then you don't know whether they survive or not.
The thing that this has done is made me care about the characters. So it's competently written. Andor is probably the character I least care about in many ways, although I'm beginning to feel for him more now. But again, the side characters are really sort of interesting, and yeah, I can't wait for the last 3 episodes, and I haven't felt like that for a Star Wars series in a long time. Genuinely, I say this again and again and again, but I think the Jedi Tales, I have to agree with Star Wars Theory, some of the best fucking Star Wars I've seen in years. They are that good, and they're only 13 minutes long.
Have you seen the Wakanda Forever trailers?
Yes, and that's why I don't really want to go and see it, but I probably will.
I'll be honest with you. The first trailer they showed me, where it was a bit mournful, had a few things into it. Yeah, when they actually showed me scenes from it, that put me off. That's
because it's more of the same. I'm sorry, Marvel is that I stopped watching She-Hulk, and that's how bad it was. And they've announced all these other series, and at one point I was quite excited for Secret Wars. I'm not excited for that anymore. I'm not excited for anything Marvel. So a bit like you are with Star Wars, I am very much like that with Marvel now, and it's a shame.
We've got anything done by Sony will be okay, if not Spider-Man. So you'll watch it and it'll be okay. Yeah, because I've got a feeling I might watch Morbius and go, crikey, that's still better. That shit is still better than stuff from Phase 4. But that's the terrible state that they're in, that I can watch Morbius and go, it's Morbin time. I love that joke. Did you hear it? That yeah, but everyone was claiming that was their favourite bit in Morbius to Sony, who then re-released the film. It's Morbin time, yeah, and I'm just like, oh my god. So my brother said it was so crap, don't watch it. But I'll be honest with you, I might watch it when Black Panther comes out, just as a weird kind of thing. I'm just gonna pull out. So it's a bit. I'm. I don't know. There's some bits in it that actually make me feel a little uncomfortable. One of them is the gorilla guy. Comes across like very poor taste, shall we say? Because it's just like, hang on, I think I've got him up here. So I'll just cut the sound off on this. But if I go back here,
yeah.
No, it's not good. That's not good. It's not PC. The one I find really funny is that certain people think Wakanda actually exists. It's like people talk about it like it exists, and like, really? I'm just like, okay.
The only thing that I will say, and the trouble is they've hijacked this, is that at least Black Panther isn't a sort of shoed in character. That he was conceived as black, he is black, and he was written as black. He's not racial swap, but he has African.
He's got athlete's foot. That's how much detail they went into.
African heritage. And I quite liked the first Black Panther movie. It was not best movie, not when you compare it to Infinity War, but
yeah.
It was reasonable. It was entertaining, and I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I felt that. So I watched that, and I felt Black Panther in Civil War was the fucking coolest character.
Yes,
in Civil War, it was the coolest character, especially when he's got the end and he comes up to Baron Zemo, and he goes to blow his brains out. And he puts his hand over the gun quickly so he can't blow his brains out. And turns around, and goes, don't get to join the dead yet. The living aren't quite finished with you. And it was like, dude, that just was like. That was cool as shit, and then they did the film, and it wasn't as cool as it was in Civil War, which I'm really annoyed at.
I will give you that, but I look, the film's going to be shit, which annoys me because Chadwick Boseman deserves a good send-off.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, the guy was a really good guy, and his final fucking moment was a stupid woke moment in What If, and genuinely terrible episode of the cartoon, and I don't want that to be his last performance as Black Panther. I don't know, but I might go and see it, but I'm not I'm not. The excitement for there's a new Marvel movie coming has just gone, and it's so sad.
It was. I think that the biggest excitement from last Marvel movie was Spider-Man. The fact that you're going to see the other two Spider-Men. That was when I
love that film.
Yeah,
love that film. Love that film.
It's a real clear 3-act structure in that film. Yeah, so it's like the setup with everything, then you got the bit with him and the villains, and then you got the bit with the Spider-Man at the end, which is fantastic.
It's my favorite Spider-Man film because it fixes everything that came before that I had a problem with, and therefore makes me enjoy those other movies more because they've been fixed.
Because the one thing I had with the Spider-Man thing was he was like Iron Man's sidekick, yeah, but by the end of it, he's no longer like Iron Man's sidekick because no one knows who he is. And and I think it was good. So
I hope they do another one. I hope he comes back to do another one. If Sony knows what's good for them, they will be pushing for it because that will get massive numbers. I think again that there is, you speak to everybody. Everybody hates Marvel, but there's a lot of love for Spider-Man. There is a lot of love out there for Spider-Man. And that is the one movie that is almost Teflon when it comes to the sort of anti-Marvel movement at the moment, because people have gone, I hate Marvel. Yeah, but what about Spider-Man? Oh, yeah, I'd go and watch another one of those Spider-Man films. Spider-Man 3 was awesome,
Yeah.
So even the normies love that. So I don't know. I mean, Marvel's dead to me. Star Wars, I have an inkling of hope. By the sounds of it, from what you've said about Black Adam, I'm actually quite hopeful about DC. And you know, the rumor is they're going to bring back Ben Affleck, and I want to see him in a good Batman movie. I want him to be given his chance because I think he can be quite fucking good. And again, Batman, Ben Affleck is a Batman fan, a bit like Henry Cavill is with Superman. These guys need to be in a movie that isn't dark, dismal, and shit. I'm sorry, Zach, you got it wrong. I know there's fans out of it there, but look, you can be fans of it. I get it. You like that, and I respect you for that. But for me, that's not what the characters are. And I want to see Ben Affleck as Batman. And he bloody well deserves it because I think he got a lot of hate. And I was always, and I've maintained this, I thought he could be a good Batman. And what I saw, I still think he can be a good Batman. So,
all right, if we remove the Snyder influence, there may be a chance. Really?
I think there is. I think he can come back and do a wizened Bruce. I think he's quite a good Bruce Wayne, and I think he can come off. The problem is, what are they going to do about the Flash? And I don't think they're pushing with the Flash. The sounds like they are pushing ahead with Wonder Woman, but we'll have to see what he does. But again, Guardians of the Galaxy, that first film is fucking genius. So there's hope for DC, which is kind of cool because, you know, I'm a Spider-Man fan, but I'm also a Batman fan. I mean, I walk around with a Batman face mask every fucking day, and it's bright yellow now. It's not even the subtle one anymore. It's the full-on Batman yellow logo. I'm Batman. I love Batman. So I'm kind of hopeful about that. So it's not all doom and gloom. I think there could be something good there. So yes. I'll tell you what I did watch this week. I've watched all of SAS Rogue Heroes. Yeah, that was interesting. I need to go and watch it again because I don't know if I liked it or not.
I rewatched The Devil's Hour with the Missus.
Yes, I know.
And there's a lot of it ties up. It all marries up. It's really good because of that. And it's just understanding where everything comes from.
I've gone back and watched it again. I maintain it needs a second season. But I wouldn't say I'm a fan of the ending, but I get the ending. I get why you liked it. But again, it is brilliantly done. Peter Capaldi is fucking awesome in those two final episodes. By God, yeah, he's a tour de force when he really gets going.
Yes, he really is. It's what was it? Just I don't know. I think that's why I went back and watched Doctor Who a bit because it was just, you know, I miss Peter Capaldi, and he I don't know what it is. Everyone says, "Oh no, it was really badly written," but the speeches he had weren't badly written.
No,
so it couldn't have been that badly. There were just some howlers in there, like the one with the forest. You know that with forest covers the earth. It was like, no, we complained about Jodie's last one and it having lots of little bits that you liked. Yeah, that one had an overall story, but it made sense even if you didn't like it, and it had lots of like little bits in there that you liked, like him with that kid in the TARDIS and arguing with them. Yeah, that was fantastic. It was like, I don't like children. Get out of my TARDIS. Yeah, that was fantastic, but it wasn't. Yeah, that and Kill the Moon. That was one where it's like, oh my God, why did you sign off on that one, Moffat? You could have put on Alien World and it would have been fine. Yeah, that would have been fine on an Alien World.
But there were brilliant ones as well. There were good ones.
The weird thing with Kill the Moon, it did have some clever bits in it. Yeah, it did have bits in it where it's like kind of, you need to, Clara, no matter how fucking all powerful you think you are, you need to respect the fact that I make these decisions on your behalf, and I'm letting you make this one on your behalf. Yeah, you need to, you trust me. Like it's me, the one in charge. And like under the river, was it under the lake? Sorry,
Yes.
that was the bit where he turns up and he's got the fucking cue cards, and he's like, kind of here. I'm here to save you or avenge your family / loved one / pet. It's just like kind of because he's like he has issues, shall we say? And I thought that was great. The other thing too is I really need to go back through those episodes and just cut the bits out with Bill Potts and the lesbian comments, because I think that's malicious compliance. I really do think that's malicious compliance.
I don't know. I think he's gone a bit like that. I don't know. I don't know. When he first started out, he was genius, but he's not perfect. And I'm sorry, but Dracula and the last thing with David Tennant in, I haven't really enjoyed them.
Right, and that last thing with David Tennant in, yeah, if his son would have killed her with the hammer at the end and actually killed her, it would have been genius. Yeah, it would have been perfect. It would have been this total clusterfuck. Yeah, it would have worked. But no,
that first episode still would have bugged me. The actress didn't sell it for me. And the whole thing on the train, which I found cutely uncomfortable, and then her coming in with her phone. I just no, I'm sorry, I didn't like the actress. I don't particularly like the actress in this. It just didn't work for me. That whole episode didn't work for me. The only thing that did work for me was Stanley Tucci.
All right. Did you in Dracula, the guy who played Dracula, what
was brilliant.
Best bit of casting I've seen for something somewhere.
I'll give you that.
That was because the thing is when Moffat hits something right, he fucking nails it. He really does. If he gets it right, he absolutely gets it right. When he gets it wrong, because he gets it right and does such a good job, everyone's like, nah.
Well, you see, it's a bit like that for Sherlock season 4 in many ways, and yeah, and there's a lot of nah in that, and
right, Sherlock season 4 feels a bit BBC mandated.
Maybe
it feels really BBC mandated, and I've heard him in person say he has bosses and he has to do what they tell him to do.
And maybe that's right, but I do feel that I don't know. I think the times they're rubbing off on him, and he spends a lot of time in Hollywood and a lot of time at the BBC, and these people have a way of infecting you with their stupid politics.
But him and his missus also did The Devil's Hour, and that was pretty much politic free.
I'll give you that. The Devil's Hour was brilliant. So, yeah, no. There might be hope there, too. There might be hope there. You saw the Sandman got gone.
And he also says that, what do you call it? He also says stuff like when, what's his mush? Chris Chibnall was doing Doctor Who, and he was going, "Oh, it needs to be for like new people." And he said, "No, it needs to be for everybody. Doesn't matter if you supported Brexit or not." And that's the words he used. Doctor Who's for everybody, and he's right in saying that it should be for everybody.
Yeah, look, you're right. Now, if it was announced in the next year, the writers for the next full season of Doctor Who, and Moffat is on there, I would not be shocked. Because if anybody is going to persuade him to come back and write a couple of episodes for fucking Doctor Who, it's going to be Davis. And I'm sorry, still, some of the best fucking episodes he ever wrote were under Davis as the showrunner. Blink is a fucking masterpiece.
Yeah, but you have to remember that Russell T Davies, when he was doing that, was leaning heavily on Stephen Moffat.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because Stephen, right? There's a thing with Richard Curtis where he was doing the Doctor Who comic relief
thing with
he turned around and said to me, goes the producer's husband is mad for Doctor Who like that, yeah, and it's got Stephen Moffat running around like a child in the background, just geeking out over everything. There's a video of him sitting in a Dalek, and he goes, "Can you just leave me to get into my headspace?" As he's sitting here, and this was back in the 90s because he's wanted a job forever. So yeah, I don't know why they don't go Moffat. Here's what's his mush, Paul McGann. 12 episodes, knock it out the fucking park. It ends with Night of the Doctor. Just do that for us, please. Because he'd do that. If you asked him to do that, he'd go, yes, sure, I'll do that.
Even if you give us 3 specials.
Yeah, 3-hour specials, like Sherlock style.
I would be there for that. I'm sorry, Paul McGann instantly, even for the 5 seconds he's on in that episode, it's instantly the Doctor. And God blimey, he's just so damn good in that role.
Yeah.
And Sylvester McCoy coming back to it works. Even Colin Baker was good. Those are the only bits that I really liked about it. We need more of that.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be interesting to see what he does. I suspect you're right, but I hold out an inkling of hope. But I suspect you're right.
All right. Did you hear? I think it was last week. Who's the pillock in charge of Star Trek? Kurtzman.
Yeah, Kurtzman. Yeah,
Kurtzman. Apparently, Kurtzman was writing a Star Wars film and helped developing a Star Wars film and that. And do you know what the thing was? The executive branch came down and went, "Shut up, Kathleen Kennedy. You're not allowed to announce any Star Wars films," was the response.
Yeah, this is the rumor that's come of it. And yes, again, it was rumored that Kurtzman was working on a Star Wars film. Look, I do not like Alex Kurtzman. I do not like what he's done with Star Trek. I will maintain that I quite enjoyed The Man That Fell from Earth. Genuinely, I quite enjoyed that. But I think that's partly down to its cast. In fact, it's predominantly down to its cast. It was well cast.
The casting director gets a pass.
Yeah, it was well cast, and I think the cast sold it for me. I enjoyed that. Zoe Wanamaker was deliciously mad, and again, I enjoyed that. It was good. It was good.
Have you been watching The Peripheral?
I've only seen the first 2. I haven't watched the next 2. I was about to watch those after we finished tonight, so to catch up. So I will be watching The Peripheral. I am going to be watching that. Why?
You're being spammed. I don't want to show it. Yes.
I want to see your private photo, please.
No, you don't want to see my private photos. It's me sitting on the toilet squeezing one out.
I've just got to say this, right? This is getting worse, YouTube, right? And this Telegram thing and this shit, you've got to do something about this. This shit is on you. Fucking own it and deal with it. Sorry. That's my message to YouTube, because this is getting worse. You bastards.
It's annoying because I can't block them without showing them. I don't want to show them. Well, it's one of those things. But yeah, I think I am going to go and watch Blade Runner. It's on Wednesday. I've decided.
As long as it's the director's, I
don't think it is.
Cut.
I think it's the original cinema print.
Okay. The good thing is that chat's been blocked, by the way. It's not coming up, just so you know.
Oh, good.
I'm looking at the live chat, and it's not there. So we're all good.
Okay. Sorry. Oh, it's annoying when that stuff happens.
I quite enjoyed the second Blade Runner film in many ways as well. So I'd go and see it, but I think they have to do the proper director's cut where Deckard is what's his face, because it doesn't make sense unless he is, because in the second one he is. So no,
because it wasn't supposed to be a one-off. Yeah, it wasn't supposed to have a follow-up. I'm trying to find the runtime on the bloody thing to see if the original's the one that's being shown.
Follow-up is pretty good.
So I'll have to look. I don't know. No, because it was left ambiguous.
Well, no, it was left ambiguous in the original, and then there was one director's cut, and there was another director. I've lost fucking count of how many director's cuts are. But if it's the last one, it is not ambiguous.
Because it's the thing with the I don't know. I have to see. I'm just trying to see if how long the director's cut is. Okay, the director's cut is crikey, this is bad information. But yeah, I've got that. There's certain films I want to see in the cinema. One of them is Blade Runner. The other is Aliens. I want to see Aliens, especially special edition. I've seen Alien in the cinema, but I've not seen Aliens. I saw Alien at midnight showing, Halloween.
Were you double fucking?
No, I just love the crap out of that film. I watched the double fuck. No, that's preserved for PT demo. That's what that is. When you do the PT demo, because that is
genius video.
I couldn't say fuck enough, so I had to put double fuck.
To this day, I love that video.
It was the fact that I was trying to make like a serious like playthrough, and I just went, "Just what you mean freak out? It's entertaining enough." I think I just leave it at that. It
still makes me laugh, that video. It's just genius. I was it's funny. I had a student today, right? And there was an English line. We were using intensifiers, right? And one intensifier was the word "to," and the example that he used was deliciously sarcastic. And I said, the Americans wouldn't understand this. This particular one is English, and it's sarcastic. Now you try explaining sarcasm to a Chinese student. Oh, it was brilliant fun. He got it because the kid was genius. But I said, British people are very sarcastic. Americans don't understand this. And I used your vlog as an example of why English thing. And
you played my trick.
And I said, this Americans do not understand this type of humor. And I'll give him good grace. He genuinely laughed. The bit where, oh man, it's all right.
That's Nigel. That's a nod to Nigel. That one
is. Just fucking genius. He got it. I said, this is sarcastic humor. This is why British comedy series don't usually translate to American comedy series all that well, because the humor is just not the same. And therefore it then becomes a generic American sitcom, which doesn't work. So yeah. But I tried to explain sarcasm. It was interesting. In the end, I just used your vlog as an example. I know we've done a whatever show today, but actually it's been quite a good conversation. I would go and watch, if you get time, watch that SAS Rogue Heroes. It is quite interesting because actually it's pretty historically accurate in many ways. But I don't think they can do another season of it. Or if they do, they are really treading away from when it was, interesting. I think my biggest problem is that there was a lot of rich history they could have done there, made it more fun, and they kind of in 6 episodes went through the whole history. Or the interesting history, and they did it in 6 episodes.
I've got a new. Sorry, Chuck's in the chat. I've got a new name for Chuck. Is Bird Strike Chuck. He's the only person I know who's had a bird strike on his plane. Because I saw that
common in America. Yeah, his sort of video.
It's funny. I work with a lovely lady who's no longer with us, who was in a plane crash and survived. Yeah. And she got a couple 100,000 as compensation. I was like, fuck? So yes, that was yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, you were saying the SAS thing. Sorry, I jumped.
It rushes through the whole history. Now, in theory, they could do a special episode, but it rushes through the history because I mean, the guy that plays Sterling is Eric's boyfriend from Sex Education, and he does a very good job of it, actually.
Which one? He has 2.
The British
English one. Yes,
the
okay.
English one. He does a very good job of it. We've got what's his face from what was it? What did we used to watch on Channel 4 that was written by kids? Oh, what was it called? Fucking hell. Anyway, the act, you know them immediately because he's a film actor now, but he started off in that Channel 4 thing. And he plays this nutty Irish guy. He's really, really good. Alfie Allen is in it. Alfie Allen's quite good. And again, pretty historically accurate, but they just rushed through it a bit. And it kind of goes throughout the whole history of the desert operation of the SAS. Or, well, it wasn't really the SAS back then. It was only towards the end of their desert bloody operations that they became the SAS in reality. But it has really good moments. But the trailer made it a bit more sort of boys clubbish and fun, and it's not quite that.
No, it wasn't.
And look, watch it. This is historically accurate. Churchill's son comes on a mission to them, and they fucking went into Tobruk and blew up a load of fucking boats. And they did that under heavy German occupation. And this is absolutely true. They took Churchill's son in, and you know, that's how Churchill basically gave them carte blanche to operate in the fucking desert after that. And that's quite good. That episode is quite good because they were like, fuck it. let's just drive into Tobruk and blow some shit up.
Yeah.
And they were genuinely like that. So yeah, there were moments that were very good in it, and it's worth a watch. It is worth a watch. It's one of the better things that the BBC's done in a long while. But I shall probably rewatch it at some point. But I'm too busy now watching the second episode of Matt Smith's incarnation in season 5 with the space whale.
Yes.
and the Queen.
Yes. Shall I play it?
This is genius.
Right, I have been playing the PT demo app for Silent Hills.
I had hair.
It was fun up to a point. I was going to do a walkthrough, but I decided, balls. Let's just show you all the stupid bits of me screaming and embarrassing myself. Enjoy.
Look at the fear on your face. Look at the fucking fear on your face.
Lured her out by telling her it was just a...
Oh, fuck me sideways.
This is not acting off the camera. He's shitting himself.
Oh, come on. Oh, it's the creepy baby thing again.
The creepy baby thing.
That's a creepy baby thing.
Oh, fuck off.
This was genius this time.
Oh, who the fuck are you?
You were playing this in the dark
this is
as
not
well, weren't you?
good.
Yeah.
Please tell me you're... No, you're still there.
Just a torchlight on my face so you could see the reaction.
Oh, this is not fun. Come on, jump out and scare shit out of me. Lisa! Oh, that's just fabulous. The fuck is that?
After killing his family, the father hung himself with a garden hose in his garage.
This next bit.
Oh, it's a creepy baby thing. And that is a cheap trick, because I had to bloody look that up on the internet. I have the resting pulse rate of a serial killer. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, God, What's it got in store for me now? Bright light, that's good. That's good. I'm gonna turn a corner and get attacked by some weird fucked up thing. Oh, double fuck! Double fuck! What the fuck is that? Ah. Oh, come on. Oh, double fuck. Why did I put headphones on? What kind of colossal moron am I? I slurred the 8 shit yourself pages. Oh, God.
How did you not? I can't play this in the dark.
Oh, it's the hole that leads into the bathroom.
That's the whole point of it, is to play it in the dark.
No, it's not. I don't have enough problem with my dog shooting himself. Oh dear. Oh, that still gets me every day. The trouble is, this is genuine. You are genuinely shitting yourself. Oh dear. Oh.
Oh, come on,
right.
come on, come on, come on. The audio stinger! Fuck me sideways.
You're knackered from it.
Is terrifying. Guys, just for a moment.
I'm a pirate and I don't care. I forgot this.
Lumber.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, that was back in the day.
Yes.
I'm
I
a pirate.
Yes, because we used to do some Google Hangouts for free. Didn't have to pay for software.
That was when I was.
Good old days.
That was when I was dicking around with all the face things, wasn't it?
Yes, with
Yeah.
all the augments on it. And
Guys,
so was
guys.
Nigel.
That was. I remember the time you got really pissed off because me and Nigel were fucking. You were trying to get us to be serious, and we were just sitting there dead back with these fucking faces on. What? We're being serious. What? I am a pirate.
I'll be honest with you. I probably do need to go back to making videos. The Callisto Protocol's coming out, and that should be scary. And maybe I'll video myself playing that, yelling, "Double fuck! Double fuck!"
Oh dear.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know why my brain thought that was it was like an appropriate way of expressing myself to yell double fuck, not regular single fuck. It's
Not just
twice
fuck.
as bad.
Double fuck.
I need that on a t-shirt. I have to get my wife to make me a t-shirt up now with double fuck on it.
Double fuck.
Yes.
Yeah, if you've ever wondered why we always take the mick out of him going, was it a double fuck moment, Gareth? That video is why.
Mm.
Oh,
Yes.
dear.
I just
Yes, no, it was genius. And yeah, that was, I forgot we used to use Google Hangouts. God, that was the day. That was the day. We've been doing this well. But yes, anyway, we've rattled on for long enough, I think.
yes, we have rattled on for long enough.
So as always, thanks for watching.
And we will catch you in the next one. Oh, not next week, because I'm in Alton Towers enjoying myself next week.
Okay, we'll see you the week after.
Week
Bye-bye.
after. Bye-bye.